Pirates have long captured the imagination of people around the world. The golden age of piracy, roughly from the 17th to the early 18th centuries, was filled with daring exploits, legendary figures, and ships that became as famous as the pirates themselves. From the high seas of the Caribbean to the waters off the coast of Africa and beyond, pirates embodied the spirit of rebellion, adventure, and lawlessness. In this article, we will explore the most famous pirates in history, their iconic ships, and the thrilling adventures that made them legends. One of the most notorious pirates to ever sail the seas, Blackbeard's fearsome reputation has lived on for centuries. Edward Teach, known to history as Blackbeard, was an English pirate who terrorized the American colonies and the West Indies during the early 18th century. Ship, the Queen Anne's Revenge. Blackbeard's flagship, the Queen Anne's Revenge, was a former French slave ship that Blackbeard captured in 1717. The ship was armed with 40 guns and had a crew of around 300 men, making it a formidable force. Blackbeard made the Queen Anne's Revenge his floating fortress, using it to intimidate ships and enforce his rule over the seas. Blackbeard's most famous adventure occurred in 1718 when he blockaded the port of Charleston, South Carolina. His crew captured several ships and he demanded a ransom for the release of the hostages, including a large sum of medicine. This audacious act was a turning point in Blackbeard's career, as it cemented his reputation as one of the most fearsome pirates in the Atlantic. Despite his menacing appearance with a long black beard and his habit of tying slow-burning fuses into his hair and beard, Blackbeard was a tactical genius. He preferred to intimidate his enemies into surrender rather than engage in long, drawn-out battles. His reign of terror, however, came to an end in 1718 when he was killed in a fierce battle with British naval forces off the coast of North Carolina. Known as Black Bart, Bartholomew Roberts was one of the most successful pirates of the golden age of piracy, capturing over 400 ships in his career. Born in Wales in 1682, Roberts began his piratical career in 1719 when he was captured by pirates after the ship he was aboard was seized. His capture would set the stage for one of the most successful pirate careers in history. Ship, the Royal Fortune. Robert's ship, the Royal Fortune, was a heavily armed vessel that served as his primary ship throughout his piratical adventures. The Royal Fortune was not a single ship, but rather a name he gave to several ships during his career. His most famous Royal Fortune was a ship of 32 guns, and under its black sails, Roberts became infamous for his boldness and strategic brilliance. Adventures. Bartholomew Roberts was known for his well-organized and daring raids. He sailed through the Caribbean, the Americas, and the coast of West Africa, capturing ships and taking vast amounts of treasure. His piratical exploits were particularly successful in the waters off the coast of Africa, where he attacked numerous Portuguese and other European vessels. Roberts was notorious for his audacity and calculated tactics. His most famous raid took place in 1721 when he captured a fleet of ships off the coast of Brazil, including the heavily armed Fortune of 46 guns. His career as a pirate would come to an end in 1722 when he was killed during a battle with British naval forces off the coast of Gabon. Anne Bonny and Mary Red are two of the most famous female pirates in history. Both women defied the norms of their time and lived adventurous lives on the high seas, participating in piracy alongside male pirates and carving out their own legacies. Ship, the Revenge. Anne Bonny and Mary Read sailed together under the command of the infamous pirate Calico Jack Rackham. The ship they sailed aboard was called the Revenge, a sloop that was smaller but highly maneuverable, making it perfect for piracy. It was on the Revenge that Anne Bonny and Mary Read participated in numerous raids in the Caribbean. Adventures, Anne Bonny and Mary Read became famous for their daring exploits and their defiance of the societal norms of the time. Both women dressed as men, and their participation in piracy was only discovered after they had already joined the crew of the Revenge. Together with Calico Jack and other pirates, they captured ships and plundered merchant vessels, leaving a trail of stolen goods in their wake. Their most famous adventure came in 1720, when they were captured by British authorities during a raid on a ship off the coast of Jamaica. While Rackham was tried and hanged for piracy, Anne Bonny and Mary Read were both sentenced to hang as well. However, their executions were delayed due to their pregnancies, and it is unclear what ultimately happened to them. Some accounts suggest that Anne Bonny escaped from prison and lived out her life in obscurity, while others believe she may have been released or pardoned. William Kidd, known as Captain Kidd, is a pirate whose story has been the subject of much myth and speculation. Born in Scotland in 1645, Kidd began his career as a privateer, a pirate authorised by a government to raid enemy ships. However, his later actions led to his notoriety as a pirate. Captain Kidd's most famous ship was the Adventure Galley, a ship equipped with 34 guns and a crew of around 150 men. It was a hybrid vessel designed for both speed and firepower, and was intended for privateering missions. Kidd's mission was initially sanctioned by the British government, which authorised him to hunt down pirates and engage in piracy against French vessels. Kidd's most famous adventure occurred in 1698 when he set sail on an expedition to the Indian Ocean. The mission soon went awry, and Kidd, finding himself in need of supplies and money, turned to piracy. He captured several ships, including the Quedagh Merchant, a rich prize filled with treasure. One of the most famous pirates to ever live, Sir Henry Morgan, was a Welsh privateer and pirate who gained fame for his daring raids on Spanish colonies in the Caribbean. Born in 1635 in Wales, Morgan started his career as a privateer before turning to piracy. His successful raids made him a wealthy man and a famous figure of the age. Morgan's most famous ship was the Satisfaction, a heavily armed vessel that allowed him to attack Spanish ships and settlements with devastating effect. The Satisfaction was equipped with numerous cannons and a skilled crew, and under Morgan's leadership it became one of the most feared ships on the high seas. Sir Henry Morgan is best known for his audacious raids on the Spanish Main. In 1671 he led a raid on Panama City, one of the most important Spanish strongholds in the Americas. Morgan's forces were vastly outnumbered, but through brilliant tactics and boldness, they succeeded in capturing the city, forcing the Spanish to surrender and looting vast amounts of treasure. Morgan's exploits earned him both riches and fame. After his successful campaigns, he was eventually knighted by King Charles II of England and became the Lieutenant Governor of Jamaica. His pirate career, however, was marked by a series of controversial actions that led to his eventual retirement from piracy. The world of piracy was one of adventure, danger and lawlessness. The most famous pirates in history, Blackbeard, Bartholomew Roberts, Anne Bonny and Mary Read, Captain Kidd and Sir Henry Morgan, captured the imagination of people through their daring exploits, their iconic ships, and the thrilling adventures they lived. These pirates left behind a legacy of intrigue and mystery, with their names immortalized in books, films, and popular culture. Their ships, whether the Queen Anne's Revenge, the Royal Fortune, the Revenge, the Adventure Galley or the Satisfaction, were not just vessels but symbols of their reign over the seas. The stories of their adventures continue to inspire generations, ensuring that the legend of piracy remains as captivating as ever. Please like and subscribe for more history content just like this.